Okay, Friday. What do we got for a date today?
Friday the 12th.
January 12th. And today, I gotta get some stuff off my chest about sponsorships.
Let's dive right into it.
Let's get right into it. Okay, right about EXP and the different sponsors, because your sponsor is everything. Everything. It means so much. And man, so there's when we went away to a couple of EXP Con events, agents were coming up to us saying, "Oh, how do I get on your mastermind calls? How do I do this? How do we get involved with Mike?" Sorry, you can't.
Yeah.
Because you're not on that downline. You're not on the sponsor. Like when I switched to EXP, if we hadn't have really researched it and looked into what a sponsor is and the value you can get off of that, we would have just joined whoever, right? Because
Yeah. Now, a big part of the reason why I joined EXP was the sponsor and the tools provided.
right.
So within the Wolfpack organization, with Mike Sherrard and Connor, they've created such a value proposition that it's bred some of the top producing agents in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Suman Kim just took the the Social Agent Academy, took that, which is a program that breaks social media down, and there's different sections of it, and it is broken down into a way that my grandmother could learn.
Yeah.
It's step by step by step. Like there was an immense amount of time and groundwork put into that course
Years.
that he charges tens of thousands of dollars to sell to people who are outside of the Wolfpack, but we get it all for free.
Yeah.
And this course, you can do it on your own time. And it breaks everything down from how to do YouTube properly. And it starts even from the mindset that you need going into it. Like it breaks it right down to a psychological level, to a actual level of what you have to do technically. And people that take these tools and use them have shown incredible results. There's like a guy in the States that took the TikTok Social Agent Academy, started doing that. And like, he's just a young fella, man. He's like 20 years old, making like $100,000 a month. Some crazy stuff, just unbelievable stories. So this is where the industry is going. We're going to a social media world. We're going to a place that's digital, where people are going to be looking you up online first before they invite you over to their house.
And if you don't learn it, you're going to get left behind if you don't learn it correctly. And that's what we're just trying to get this message across, that if you're joining any company, whether it's Keller Williams, EXP, whoever, your sponsor has to provide value. You can't just be told that, oh, go under this person because it doesn't matter. It's not true, and it's super frustrating. And we're seeing that quite a bit now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening. So, and again, back to what value. Last year was the hardest year in real estate, I believe.
Yep.
So far.
Yeah, for a long time, man.
For a long time.
I've talked to a lot of agents in the last even just couple of weeks. And like there's some agents who had good things going that may have only done like 3 deals, 4
Top
deals.
agents in our city, not all of them, because they're still obviously top those, but a lot of the agents, even top ones, didn't do nearly as much as what they did in the past.
Most people, in fact, I think it's safe to say, because you can just base it on the numbers, right? There's outliers. People who hustled over the last year did well. But then there's a lot of people who had the easy wave. And man, you can talk about this, not even just in our city, globally.
This is globally. That's right.
It's a global issue.
But I want to say,
people that pushed through the last year would have even pushing and going as hard as they did, let's say in 2021 and in 2022, didn't do as good last year, just because the inventory was so low, right? So it's just a numbers game, and there's less inventory, there's less business to go around, and it becomes more competitive.
And what I wanted to say too, on it being so hard, 2023 was the best year of my real estate career yet.
Yeah.
Not just financially, physically. I went through a lot of challenges in the last couple of years, and I'll tell you, to be around the right people, again, your sponsor, financially, your family, it's like there's so much more to it than just selling a house. And if you're just going to come over to a company just to come without doing your research, it's not right, because I'll tell you, mentally, physically, weight wise, everything was the best year of my life because of the value that Mike and Connor created.
Yeah.
And anyone who joins that, the Wolf Pack, gets all this for free. Like it sounds funny. Sure, it sounds funny, but you don't get it.
What
I
sounds
didn't
funny?
get it. It's the Wolf Pack. I thought it did at
Yeah.
first. It does because it reminds you of The Hangover. But I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, I thought it was at first, and I was embarrassed to share it when we first joined EXP, just because I felt the same way until because I didn't understand it.
Well, if you don't understand it, well, it's just like anything, right? If you don't understand it, then it's got no meaning.
It's good. Right.
It's got no meaning behind it. But when you understand the value, man, and that's what we're talking about right now. So this is why we're talking about this,
Right.
because we want to help people understand. We know right now there's a lot of agents kind of going, do I need to make a change?
Right.
And that they're looking at EXP as a great opportunity because it's an amazing opportunity. I personally believe
Money-wise.
it is the best brokerage currently in New Brunswick, and I think it could be one of the best brokerages worldwide. I know for a fact it's definitely going to be one of the best brokerages in New Brunswick, but that's just my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm all talking from opinion right now. But also when you look at the numbers, it's up there. And there's so many different compensation models. We have a great commission split. We have the stock options, which makes me just feel comfortable when I'm doing business, because it's nice to know that as I'm going through my real estate career, closing deals, a portion of that is getting invested into a stock without me even thinking about it.
On the stock. So I was talking to an agent last year, and the agent goes, "Well, we could just invest some of our commission."
Yeah, you
Now they were on a 70-30 split, right? At their brokerage. So they're like, "Oh, we could invest our commission and put it into a stock or whatever we want to do." Yeah, you could. But then you're already losing money because your brokerage is taking 30% of your commissions. At EXP they're taking 20, and then you cap at 80,000 gross, right? So yeah, you could put it into your own money, but then you're down even more money and more money. Like at EXP, again, 80-20 split. Very low fees. 5% of my commission buys up company stocks at a 10% discount.
At a 10% discount. That's a very important part.
Right? So once I cap at 80,000 gross, last year I had a really good year. I had so much money at 100%. And all that 100%, all that, when I was capped, I had put more money into stocks. Every single deal I did. Now I have enough money in stocks to pay my tax bill if I want to for doing the same thing.
Right.
Plus, and yesterday I was talking to another agent, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it, Brandon. It was just driving me crazy. And I got to talk about it. And it's still driving me nuts. And I was like, never mind the mindset, the value, the social media training that you need going forward. Never mind any of that.
Yeah.
And it's not going to affect my life from you coming to EXP. Again, I might get $200 out of the company's portion, right? You can have that back. I just the reason I want to get this off my chest is because it's really frustrating because it's such a great model when things are so tight in time. And that's why Glenn Sanford built this for agents to succeed in the career, because there's so many failing agents. And I said, just by you switching, you're going to make $20,000 more a year. Oh, well, I have nothing against where I'm at. Great. Neither do I. But I'm not going to hand somebody $20,000 for doing the same thing anywhere else.
Yeah. I had nothing against the brokerage that I was coming from.
Me either. I was happy. Broker was great.
I had nothing against it. But when you see a better business opportunity and you know that there's a better opportunity out there for you to do better, have better resources, have better tools, have better mentors, have more positive people around you, and have people all over the globe giving some of their best tips, because it's not location centric. So the brokerage isn't just based on the province. It's not just based on the city. Our brokerage is a global brokerage. So we have agents all over the world sharing their best tips. And that to me is invaluable.
That are selling.
Actively, active agents. Yeah,
Right.
because it's icon agents. Because in order to be part of the teaching group of EXP, so the ones that actually do presentations that we're talking about on all this stuff, they need to be icon agents. So we're learning from agents who have actively hit their icon status.
Talk to me about that. So explain. I want you guys to know this too. If you hit icon status at EXP, Brandon, elaborate on it. What happens and how do you hit icon?
Yeah, so it's So icon status is when you do 20 deals after you have capped.
And what's the
Right.
cap?
Cap is so paying 16,000 in company
To the company. So
to the
once
company.
you gross
So then once,
80,000.
yeah. So once you gross 80,000, then you do 20 deals after that, and you get your cap back. So it's essentially
For
a
free.
brokerage where they could pay you to be working in the brokerage, where you're actually getting more money than the brokerage really gets from you. There's some transaction fees in there, little stuff. We're talking about minuscule things,
gotta make
but
money.
you can literally make 100%
Over.
of your commissions, over 100%, because that stock goes up. Bam! You get $16,000 coming into you, and that's huge, man. Especially for top producers. Especially for top producers, it blows me away.
I was talking to some
It
agents.
blows me away when people don't understand the numbers or don't understand the model of it. And man, it's still early. It's still early. There was 70,000 agents to leave the business last year.
Yep.
70,000 agents to leave the business. I think people are going to start looking
Did you
around
see all
going,
the canceled ones this week?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Just in our board.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Nuts.
It was crazy. And like, how many are coming over to EXP as well?
Yeah, there were just 4 big agents coming over to now. I get to tread lightly on that one. So my business never would have changed if I wasn't around and got the value out of the group that we're under. We're plugged into a really good value-driven group, right? I would have been floating along and doing the same things every day. Like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing every day over and over and over, expecting to see a change. And I would have did that. And I probably still would have been in my other job because times are tight. But now, you and I, we're slowly scaling up. In good ways. We're not cocky or anything. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm very passionate about everything. I do anything for anyone. Same for you. I can speak for you on that. And it just drives me crazy that people don't understand it, and they won't even think about it. Like, I run a business. You run a business. Everybody runs a business. If you're a smart businessman, what are you going to do? You're going to sit down and look at what's best for my bank account, what's best for my family, what's best for my mindset, what's best for everything. Not that you're best friends with the broker.
Yeah. And a real nice part of that too is like when you're able to make more money for you and your family, it's like that's going to naturally translate to how you're able to service your clients too. Because if
100%.
there's
Relaxed.
more relaxed, you can put more back into your business, you can scale your business better, provide a better service using better tools. Like it's just a better situation. And that's what I seen. So like I said, I wasn't coming from a brokerage that I didn't like.
No.
I enjoyed my previous brokerage.
Yeah.
But once I learned the model of EXP, it was slowly chipping away at me every deal I did going, oh, I could have a little bit more commission.
God,
I
man.
could have some stock options. I could be learning from some other people who are top tier agents in their marketplace making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month.
Right.
Like I could be, and then that slowly chipped away at me until I was almost driving myself insane.
Crazy, yeah.
And I just had to be like, I have to make this jump. I have to.
I have to.
to
For
do it
me?
because I realized, and I was also given so much value before I even came over.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
that
given
was
so
tough.
much value before I came over, and I was like, "This is crazy. What am I doing?" So that was, shout out to Mike Sherrard and Connor for building such an incredible organization. And anybody that we bring into that organization gets all these tools. They get all these mastermind calls, weekly mastermind calls. We get the Social Agent Academy. We got all these tools and resources at our fingertips.
And people don't understand. Also, Brandon, I want to talk about the mastermind calls because I don't think. I mean, I started. This is my 3rd brokerage, right? I finally found, like, sometimes it takes time to find the right spot for your business. Again,
it could change, man. It could change.
It could
Let's say
change,
I'm not sitting here saying that I'm going to die on the mountain for EXP. If there's a better brokerage that comes along, it's got a better business model, then we'll be talking about that at some point, I'm sure
100%.
too. Because it's based on logic. It's not just based on emotion. I'm not saying this emotionally. I'm saying logically right now.
If ABC Realty started tomorrow and had a better split in the stocks and this,
better
and
tools,
that, and this,
better
and
resources,
tools,
yeah.
I'd be like, great. I'm open to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's about you and running the business. Now I have an assistant. We're hiring another one, and we get this. We're delegating our video. This is all delegated. This is all everything, and we're all taught it. Everything's broken down. But what I wanted to say before I forget again about the mastermind calls, when I said this is my third brokerage, okay? And I don't think there's a lot of training and stuff, but I don't really think people understand what a mastermind call is. Okay? When they say that, oh, it's just a call, right? It's just a coaching call. Mike brought up yesterday on Resurgence. People charge 15 to 25,000, like big time coaches, right, for mastermind calls. $20,000. There's an agent in Moncton right now charging $20,000 for coaching, right? So like, this is all free every single week, and Mike is taught by Ed Milet.
Ed Milet and Andy Frisella.
Andy Frisella.
Yeah.
He's part of Arte. For him to be in Arte, what did he say? That's like $200,000.
It's something crazy. It's up in the tens of thousands or something. Like, and I think there's packages with it too.
Mike pays, say, a couple $100,000 a year just to get coached by these guys. Are multi-millionaires, and he brings all this value to us. If you don't have the value, how are you going to grow your business if you're not being shown how to grow from people at a higher level? Explain that to me. You're not going to. You got to be shown. And what you're shown with the value that he provides, plus everything we just went over, the fees, the mindset, the stocks, everything, it just makes no sense. But when you're coming over to any brokerage, don't let your egos get in the way. Talk to the people that are there and pick their brain and know, because no one really cares what you do, and everybody's so secretive about everything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And it's going to be different for each person, right? Each person, every person is in real estate for probably similar reasons, but also different reasons, right? So it's like, why are you in real estate? What are your goals?
Right.
And how can a brokerage help you facilitate those goals and get you to where you're going, right? So it's like the brokerage is the vehicle. Are you in the right vehicle to get you where you're going?
I wasn't.
So if you're not in the right vehicle to go to where you want to go, like a lot of people are in real estate because they want financial freedom and time freedom. Yeah. And they love helping people. And it's like, okay, so are you currently in a brokerage that's going to allow you to do that? Are you doing it to the most efficient way possible?
Right.
And that's the important part, because why not do it the most efficient way possible?
Right.
If that's what you're trying to do. Yeah.
And that was for me when I got it, is money freedom, time freedom. And to create money freedom, you have to have, what was it? Mike goes over it all the time. You got to have duplication of ownership, right? Equity ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to get these, there's four in
the wealth quadrant.
There's 4 parts of the wealth quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
It's duplication, equity ownership. Ownership is one of them.
Yeah, duplication.
And I forget what the fourth one is.
Duplication, equity, ownership. Then you need to also have the, I think, is it part of the revenue shares in there? Passive income?
Passive and residual income.
And residual income, yeah.
Right. So if I was working at my previous brokerage or the one before that, in order for me to create passive income, I need to sit down and save up my commissions in order to buy a piece of real estate, right? And that's duplication of doors, which gives you passive income. And that's the whole goal. But that takes time, right?
Yep.
Plus, I'm losing more money at another spot. So now I'm able to buy properties because I'm making more money. I got my stock benefits. My business is growing. I got the value here and there. It's just, look, there's a spot for everyone, and it doesn't matter whatever works for you, right? For me, it's a business. Real estate's a business. It's my business. It's my family. It's for my kids, for my everything. So I want to be in the right, as you just said, the vehicle to drive that for the future. And the best thing about this is everything that I build within this company is willable to my kids and my wife, which to me is very, very important. So if I build up this down the road, I'm only 34 years old. When I'm 54, God knows what'll happen. But I know it'll be a lot bigger than it is now. And that I can leave that all. If something happened to me when I'm 50, I can leave all that to my kids, my wife, everything. They keep getting paid.
Yep. So that's a great business, man. It's a great business model. I couldn't be happier. We're at our 2-year mark right now.
2 years.
We've been in for
so I think it's a
for
fair
2 years. This could be a 2-year review right here. This could easily be a 2-year EXP review.
Yeah, and we
Because
really didn't know until we started really getting plugged in. Like,
well, you have to learn it, man. You have to learn it, just like anything, right? So one big thing that Mike always talks about is learning the model. In order to properly communicate anything, you have to know what you're talking about. So in order to communicate the model, we needed to learn it. And it's just like anything. A lot of people are in brokerages and may not even fully understand the model because they are a little bit complex. It takes some time to sit down and learn it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of it comes in, is just learning the model and being able to help facilitate other agents' needs in order to help them achieve what they're looking to achieve, right?
And let me ask you, while you're on that, is, again, what you said earlier, just time we're talking to everyone here, any agent in the world, why did you really, I know you said it earlier, but if I sit down and ask you why, I just want to recap on it. Why did you get into real estate? Please just.
I got into real estate because I've always liked business.
Yep.
I've always enjoyed helping people, and I just seen it as a really good opportunity to use my social skills, everything that I've learned through my trades of commercial diving, my discipline in the military, and put that into a practice where I have control over my business and be able to go out and help people and sell real estate and grow a business that's equally helping as many people as it is helping myself.
Now, where you're at today, do you find you can help yourself and people more?
100%, yes. The better version that I become of myself, the more I'm able to help them. The clearer my head is from useless distraction of figuring out, like, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make this work? Like, it just clears the fog out, and it allows me to then focus and manage my time in a way where I'm disciplined enough to say, I'm going to go to the gym in the morning. I'm going to focus on my business at this time. I'm going to focus on my relationship during this time. I'm going to focus on my clients at this time. I'm going to do showings here, and then take control of that stuff. And it's super fulfilling, man. It is so fulfilling. It's an absolutely great career. This is one of the best things I've ever done. And the funny thing is, oh, I probably just knocked the mic really bad. The funny thing is, I used to always get in trouble for talking during everything I did. I was in communications in the military, so that was a great trade for me. It was a great trade for me on the radio, talking all the time. Everybody always knew my voice. But anything I did outside of the military, everybody was like, Brandon, shut the fuck up.
Sometimes I'm like that.
And I finally got to a point where instead of people telling that to me, I'm getting paid for it now. I'm getting paid to communicate with people. I'm getting paid to create good relationships. And it's like, I've had a lot of friends that are like, Brandon, you found your niche. You found the right spot. It's like you were born and bred for this. And I will tell you right now, I'll be the first person to say this, I never would have considered myself as a real estate agent growing up. Even in my early 20s, I never would have looked at myself. If I went back and visited myself 10 years ago and said, hey, little man, I just want to let you know that in 10 years, you're going to be a real estate agent, okay? And things are going to be okay. I would have looked at myself and said, who is this stranger? Who is this? Who is this person? I don't know that person. I would not have recognized that human, but it's so crazy how life happens.
I could say the same, man. Exact same. There's no way. And I didn't even know you 5 years ago. And no, if I had it, like somebody came up to me, Evan, you're going to be a realtor. No way. Not a chance. No sense. I'm like, no way. I'm not going to be doing that.
Right.
No way. I'm a railroader. I'm driving trains for the rest of my life.
Right.
But anyway, it's amazing. I love it. I didn't really. I was starting to get out of it. I did enjoy it till I came here. Again,
it lights the fire back up, man. Being around these people lights the fire back up because you start to see what's possible. You start to realize the opportunities that are available if you apply yourself and you put in the proven techniques that other agents in our sphere have done in our organization. That's the thing. We have the blueprint. Success leaves clues.
I had an agent ask me today on the phone, well, how do you get your leads? We just talked about it. Everything. Yeah. You got to be plugged into the right place. Yep. If we just came to EXP, I don't know if much would have really changed. We would have made a little bit more money and stuff like that, but nah,
Well, it's like coming
I don't
over and
think
like
much would have changed.
it's like coming over and not doing the calls, right? It's like
Right.
not jumping on the masterminds. There's so much opportunity for anybody that needs it. And then there comes a certain point, I'll be the first to say, there comes a certain point where you need to be selective with your time and pick which ones are valuable to you, because there's so many calls that you could do that it could almost probably consume your day. If you want that, if you need that, that's excellent. But there also comes a time where you just have to start taking the things that you're learning and apply them into action and actually implement them and be disciplined and get to work.
Yeah, and that takes time to do that, to line everything up and put it all in the right places where it needs to be. But I just had to get all that off my chest. We are happy. Everything's good. We're in a good mood. We just had to get some stuff
happy,
up.
yeah.
Everything's awesome. I just had when somebody comes at me and says like, "Oh, well, there's this." I'm like, "You're literally paying your brokerage an extra $30,000 to do the same thing as I am." Like, you could put that into an RSP, which is a tax benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could invest it into your kids. You can invest it back into your business. You can pay for billboards. So you can hire an assistant, for God's sakes. Plus, your stock's building up.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do the same thing anywhere else for less for a lesser opportunity? It just makes no sense.
There's a reason there's a fire burning in me, and it's because I realize the opportunity that's available with this company. And when you realize that there's an opportunity to grow in the way that you want to and to help other people, then I feel like I have this burning obligation inside of me to now use this time to get to work and actually execute. I'm only 30 years old. I'm only 30.
I'm 34.
I'm 30. So it's like, I've been in business for myself for 7 years at this point now. I've been owning and operating a business. I started off with my spa, Pangea, ran that for about 1.5 to 2 years, and then I've been in real estate now for 5 years. So I've been depending on myself to make an income for about 7 years at this point. And it's like there's highs and lows, man. There's highs and lows to being your own business owner, to being the only person that is in charge of yourself. And coming from the military, I almost kind of didn't want to follow orders for a while, and I didn't want discipline, and I didn't want structure. I thought I didn't want that. And then I've been implementing that more and more and realize how much more freedom you get when you get disciplined. How much more freedom you get when you actually kind of follow and align with your purpose.
And you know where that freedom starts? Right up here in your head.
In your head, 100%.
Yeah.
And it starts with knowing the purpose. Every day when I wake up, our calendar's full. You and I sat down and we built our calendars out so that every moment in the morning has a purpose to help us grow our business, help us help our clients. That's fine. We can talk about it again. We can talk about it again.
Yeah.
So we have this hour slots for everything that we need to do. So every morning I wake up, I have a time to be working on my business. And it's not just like working on the business. It's like, this is like reaching out to people, lead generation at this point, working on my CRM, working on community building, working on a weekly newsletter, like all these things that are going to compound over time. Man, I'm so excited to see where 2024 goes. A, because of the market, B, because of what we're doing, C, because of the discipline, D, because of EXP. I could keep going.
Me too. But I'll tell you, to wrap it up, if you ever go to any brokerage, for anyone out there, please do your research. Don't just jump in. Don't just jump into the water. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be able to leave a 6-figure job. It's all who you're around. It's all who you surround yourself with. And I couldn't emphasize that anymore. It's so true. It changed everything. And anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say.
That's all that needs to be said.
Awesome. Got to do the knocks, man. Love it.
Cool.